We are back for another week of Movie News Daily, and we kick it off by taking a look at the weekend's box office numbers, the upcoming Blu-ray releases for this week, and some news on some other upcoming projects. Let's dive in. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Movies, where you can see all kind of movie and TV show content with me, JC, especially if you're into the comedy, superhero, and horror genres. If those are up your alley, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Or if you just want to talk and hear movie news weekly here as we bring it to you Monday through Friday, every weekday here on the channel. Another reason that you should hit that subscribe button and stick with us here at JC's Movies if you're a fan of movies and TV shows. And then you can also help us out while you're in here watching this video just by hitting that thumbs up button. Giving the video a like will help a ton with that YouTube algorithm and help this video find more movie and TV show fans like you and me. With that out of the way, let's get into our January 26th edition of Movie News Daily. All right, let's lead it off with the box office numbers from this past weekend. Coming in at number one with the top spot is Mercy, grossing over 11 million this past weekend in its first week in theaters to take the top spot away from Avatar Fire and Ash, which now is in its sixth week, still remaining at number two overall and has now grossed nearly 379 million in the US. Zootopia 2 remains at number three in its ninth week, and it has crossed 400 million at the domestic box office. Then rounding it out in the top 10, you have The Housemaid at 4 in its sixth week. 28 years later, The Bone Temple in its second week at 5. Marty Supreme down to number 6 in its sixth week. Return to Silent Hill down at number 7 in its debut weekend. Not the greatest start there for Return to Silent Hill. Hamnet remains at number 8, jumping up actually in its ninth week in theaters. Number 9, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, sitting there as we've talked about those being re-released here recently. And then number 10, Primate in its third week, still staying in the top 10. You like to see that. So there's the top 10 in the box office in the US from this weekend. And in addition to the box office numbers, we always like to highlight the upcoming Blu-ray releases for the week, but this is a week where nothing new is coming out. It's all older things coming out here, as you can see here on the screen. We got Clark Gable movies. We've got House Party. We've got Charles Bronson movies. We've got Ordinary People. You've got a One Piece DVD. You've got the Chris Hemsworth movie Black Hat getting an Arrow video release. You've got a 4K release for the J-Lo and Owen Wilson Marry Me movie. And the one thing of note that really interests me this week, I think, more than anything, is probably the George Romero Resident Evil documentary about the movie that he was going to make there. This just was released last year, and it's coming out on Blu-ray this week. From there, we get into news on some upcoming projects, one of those being Werewolf, which is releasing around Christmas this year, and it just recently wrapped filming the latest Robert Eggers movie, this coming here from Bloody Disgusting. And it is a period piece set in 13th century England, and it is set to hit theaters on December 25th after it began filming last fall, just wraps up here in January. And then, being as big of a fan I am of the Wolf of Wall Street movie, arguably maybe my favorite Scorsese movie, which I know says a lot, but I really love Wolf of Wall Street. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. The fact that now Variety is reporting an exclusive here that a Jordan Belfort docuseries called The Real Wolf of Wall Street will come to Paramount Plus is really exciting and intriguing to me as well. And the 3-part docuseries is currently in production from Maxine Productions, who made Quiet on the Set and The Fall of Diddy, which is, two really good documentaries there. Also, See It Now Studios is involved, and it will premiere later this year. So we'll be getting this Jordan Belfort, The Real Wolf of Wall Street documentary on Paramount Plus at some point this year. And then something else that's releasing this week, which I'd almost forgotten about till Marvel Studios put out this on social media, Wonder Man. Coming out tomorrow night, actually. It'll be out at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time on Disney+. You can check out the new Marvel series, Wonder Man. And then, as we know, this weekend we have a Sam Raimi movie releasing in theaters, and we'll report more on the upcoming releases this weekend towards the latter episodes of the week here on Movie News Dailies. We'll be with you Monday through Friday. But Sam Raimi's talking about one of his previous movies that he'd like to make a sequel for, and that's Darkman. And he says Ghost House Pictures, the company I work with, is trying to make it right now. They have a script already for a Darkman sequel, and they've got 2 great directors lined up, but they're having difficulties with the finances, as he says always seems to happen in the movie business. So we got a Sam Raimi movie coming this week, but could we get a sequel to Darkman in the future? Seems like it's in limbo, but there's a script ready, so it's possible. And we'll see what happens, but that's what we'll wrap up Movie News Daily with here on our Monday edition on January 26th. So there you have it. Movie news daily in the books here for Monday as we kick off another week, bringing you movie and TV show news here on JC's Movies. Be back with you throughout the rest of the week. We have plenty more to talk about. Lighter show today, especially since there wasn't a ton of Blu-ray releases, but that's okay. We hit those box office numbers. We talk about some upcoming projects, and the fun thing is tomorrow will probably be a jam-packed show as a lot of movie news usually tends to release on Tuesday, and then the latter portion of the week we can talk about upcoming theatrical releases, what's releasing on streaming, all that fun stuff. We'll have plenty of movie news to cover here on JC's Movies, so be sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on anything that we discussed in this episode or anything you want to talk about there, movie or TV show related. Always appreciate those interactions. They help me continue to grow the JC's Movies channel here on YouTube. Having said that, I appreciate you tuning into this one, and I will catch you on the next one.